Welcome to the Comics Coffee Metal Podcast, episode 165.
Greetings and welcome to the Comics Coffee Metal Podcast. I'm your host, Don Carnias, and today I am so stoked to have back on the show actor, producer, comic book creator, just iconic person in general, Tyler Main. Tyler, thank you for coming back on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
I'm stoked to have you back. You were on a couple years ago with the Kickstarter for the LAST SPARTAN Red Tape, the book series that you helped develop with Christopher Priest and a load of talented other folks to make it a graphic novel. And I got my copy right here from the Kickstarter.
Yes,
and
thank you.
And it's awesome to see that, now there's going to be the full-on softcover available in stores at the end of this month. Actually, I think when the show posts, they should be in stores already.
Yeah, it'll be in stores. And if you don't have a comic book shop that you go to, you can order it online at the lastspartan.com or mainentertainment.com.
Yeah, and you have, and on the website you have the really cool hardcover, you have the script book, cool, tons of extra cool stuff. So really stoked to see that's still going. And I see that on the website you're in production for a second volume of the book, which will be awesome. We'll dive, hopefully we can dive into a little bit of that. But you've been on before, you know the rule of the show. I gotta ask, Tyler Main, Comics Coffee Metal, what have you been digging lately?
Man, I'm the old school rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of that to get me jazzed for this, to keep me going. Because like you say, I'm on the road all the time, going everywhere, and I'm listening to old school rock and enjoying it, And I've had my 4 cups of espresso this morning already. I'm jacked up.
You're ready. You're all ready to go. I remember I listened back to the episode a week or so ago, and I'm like, I totally forgot like how much that espresso you're having. I'm like, oh man, I gotta ask if he's still doing that.
Oh yeah, I love it. I've even switched it up a bit. I'm having like some mushroom coffee in the afternoon.
Oh, okay. How is that stuff?
I gotta have my coffee.
How is that mushroom stuff?
Brand. I love that stuff.
Okay. I see it posted a lot. I gotta see, because I've had to reduce my caffeine intake a little bit myself, just because I've been hitting the gym in the mornings. I've been taking a pre-workout that has the caffeine in it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to like
I should probably cut back too, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I'm sure this is a temporary decline in caffeine intake for me, for sure, though. I'm sure I'll ramp it back up eventually. Well, you mentioned old school rock and roll. Like what bands are like on like your permanent playlist?
Oh, Rush.
All right,
Zeppelin,
nice.
All those guys. I just listen to whatever, Eric Clapton, all kinds of stuff. I listen to it all. I love it all.
Yeah. I saw that Rush is, they're getting back together to do some shows with a new drummer, and that seems to be pretty cool. I'm glad that those guys are back at it. I know Neil Peart was such a huge part of that band and so influential, but so many people just love the music, and those guys, they're road dogs themselves. Alex and Geddy, they got to get going too. They can't just sit idly by.
Yeah, exactly. I saw them for their 40th anniversary tour, I believe it was, in Los Angeles with my daughter, and they were amazing, man.
Yeah,
it was fantastic. I'm glad I got to go and see them there.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. So, and then comics. Last time you're on, you're showing off a brand new acquisition of a Wolverine variant cover you're looking for. Have you had much time to like delve into any new comics lately, or you're just in the middle of helping make one? All the other stuff, you just haven't had a chance to sit down and enjoy them yet.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to sit down, but Christopher Priest, who wrote ours, gave me his copy of Superman that he wrote, which was really cool. So I was able to take a look at that he was nominated for the Eisner for. And, I just, hopefully it'll slow down a little bit, but I'm just doing this book signing tour, going to all these different comic shops and conventions, to trying to get the word out for the LAST SPARTAN Red Tape, because it is for a serious it is a very serious topic that we need to raise awareness for, and it's become a passion project of mine. Like with going to all these conventions and signings and talking to people, Um, you know, you every time I go and talk to groups of people, there's at least 3 or 4 people that it's affected their lives personally, whether they're a
Hmm.
first responder having to deal with it and saying, "Thank you for bringing awareness to this," because a lot of people just don't realize how serious it is. And then also, family members, you know, that have had it happen to them or just about happened to them. It is a very serious topic. Human trafficking is something
Yeah.
that we really need to put an end to.
Yeah, I'm totally with you there, and that's part of the reason that I was so glad to have you back on, because bringing awareness to this topic and supporting those who are trying to combat that is incredibly important these days, on all fronts. And it's a very is one of the far no, in terms of noble causes. It's like, yeah, this is it's like a also like a no-brainer. Like, this is what we should be doing as humans.
Yeah.
We should be
Hey,
making sure people are safe.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you
and, you know,
know
and the organization that we're teaming with is deliverfund.org, which helps law enforcement with technology to catch the, assholes, as I call them, but the bad
mhm,
guys. You know, they've got
yeah,
they're developing the technology that helps law enforcement find these guys and kick down the doors and put them away.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on that topic, the Last Spartan red tape. I forget how I'm cropping these episodes for the video, but I got my copy from the Kickstarter here.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fantastic, and you can get that either on the website or that's the one that's in the stores, but
yeah,
here's the very special Halloween homage cover
yes, and a
that
nice little
is
hardcover too.
yeah, nice hardcover, it is available on the websites only right now, or if you see me at a signing,
Hmm.
and that is the one that's very, very popular, and like I say, a portion of the proceeds goes to deliverfund.org to help put an end to human trafficking. And
Awesome.
you know, the team that we put together, I couldn't be more prouder of. You know, writing it with Christopher Priest, who wrote the Black
Yeah,
Panther, Punisher, Vampirella, Captain America, and now Superman.
just
Eisner
legend.
nominated for that. That
Yes.
cover that you have is a Mark Silvestri cover, which is very hard to get Mark to
one
do
one of one of
cover
my
design.
top guys.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was my him, Adam Kubert, and, John Romita Jr. Those were like
the
they're on
guys.
my Everest. They're on
Yeah,
my Everest
yeah,
the
yeah,
guys that I
yeah,
loved
yeah,
so much and still love to this
yeah.
day. So
You know,
no, it was a no brainer for me. Seeing the cover, Christopher Priest, all time favorite art. Just Christopher Priest's name alone should warrant someone buying the book, because there's just such a pedigree of quality behind his words and his work. It's
He's
yeah,
got a long history in the business. You know,
yeah,
he
yeah,
he
yeah.
actually started he was at, Marvel
Hmm.
when Mark came in there, and he told him to go draw the X-Men, and he kinda helped launch, Mark in that direction to get him going on that and the Wolverine and all of that and the X-Men. So, you know, I mean,
There you go.
it's kind of a full circle, the team that we have,
Yeah,
you know, and then the
yeah.
interior art is Will Conrad, who is
Hmm.
Red Sonja, X-Men, and all of that. Uh, Jimbo Salgado and Michael Montenot. So it is
Yeah,
all very top tier artists that came together to
yeah.
bring this book to where it is. Yeah,
And as we discussed before, Last Spartan, it's based on a book series, and you worked very closely with Chris and kind of developing it, making it appropriate for one, the types of stories that need to be told, bringing modernizing it, and also just making sure it works as a comic, because that's
yeah,
incredibly important as well. You can't just write, you can't just give a script of any format to anybody and say make a comic of this. There's nuances and details to it, and you, being someone who deeply respects the genre, as we all know, knew that, and you're like, let's get a fantastic team together. Let's put this together. Let's get our hands dirty and make this the best book possibly we can to get all this out. How has the reception been as you've been touring and doing all these book signings and appearances and stuff? I'm assuming you have the books with you for some of these things. Like,
yeah. At the
how
signing,
are the fans who probably
every
missed it? How are they receiving the book?
yeah, people love it. It's getting it's got 9.2, 9.5 out of 10 ratings and reviews from top
Nice.
reviewers. So it's doing well. And every time I take them to a signing, they sell out. So it's
That's great.
people are just excited to get behind and help out because it is portion of the proceeds donated to
Hmm.
an organization that is out there to take out the human traffickers.
Hmm.
So it's just a fantastic opportunity to get out there and meet the fans and
Hmm.
uh, just talk to them about this. And as you were saying, the storyline has developed from John Saunders, who originally wrote it back in the day. I think the book, the novel, came across my desk probably 15, 16, 17 years ago now. And so
Yeah.
what we did was we all came together and wanted to modernize this and
Hmm.
make it more up to date. And it because the way people are trafficking people nowadays, it's through the internet. It's all through
Yeah.
the internet. People are
Yeah.
pretending to be people that they're not, and getting into the minds of the youth. And
Hmm.
it's something that needs to be really watched. If you have kids out there, please make sure that you are watching what they're doing and who they're talking to
Yes.
online, because it is a very serious topic.
Yes. I before we start, I mentioned, I'm a father. I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Um, we're very much a tech friendly household, and I let them have, their tablet, their screen time. And yeah, you have to, like, you would think there's nothing that's 100% safe from someone who wants to try to do something nefarious with these apps, these games, these things like that. And, you know, so while lots of websites maybe have some safeguards in place, some settings in place, it's not a set and forget situation. You have to be vigilant about this. You have to, be involved yourself with it. And unfortunately, not a lot of parents know that. Not a lot of parents, assume that. They think, oh, they
Right.
have safeguards in place. I don't have to worry about my kid doing this. I put all the settings and all that.
Yeah.
And but there's, if I've known anything, especially for my 9-year-old, they'll find a way
Oh, they
to, like,
totally
go
will.
around.
And
Like, yeah,
that's another reason why we did the book too,
yeah,
because you can read this with your family and your family can look at it, and hopefully it'll open up discussions and
yeah,
raise awareness to
yeah,
realize that it is something very serious,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's again. There's always some sort of, nothing's 100% safe with online anything. And fairly recently I discovered my 9-year-old was able to, like, go onto uh an filtered browser
Yeah.
through a random kids game that was on her tablet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, how
That's
did
the
you
way a
get
lot
here?
of
Like,
the
how
time
did,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
the
like,
way a
how did
lot
this
of the
happen?
times they get in there. They get
Yeah.
into through the games, and,
Yeah. And so,
you gotta
you
be
know,
well aware of who they're talking to on these
yeah.
games.
Now, thankfully, my daughter was just using it to look up different Wikipedias for characters,
Well,
but I was able to, like, shut that down. Like, no, that's not allowed anymore, and all
right.
that. So, because we even then I thought, like, I was closely monitoring everything. I was checking everything. I have the you know the because they use the Kindles or whatever. So we use the apps on the phone from Amazon. You can see what they're opening up and playing with, but then you just see the games open up. You don't see that they went to this other thing, and then
Yep.
yeah. So there's always something. So that's why, I'm, again, stoked to have you back on talking about this kind of stuff, because it comes in all forms. It comes from places you least expect
Mhm.
this kind of stuff to happen. So, um, and I'm glad to hear that, the response from the fans has been great, and all that. And once again, the book is available in stores. This is just shows posting on the 29th, and Wednesday is always a new comic book day around here.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So,
it should be in stores there. Again, if stores don't have it, it's on the website. Are you going to have it available on, like, online, other online sellers like Amazon or Barnes and
not
Noble or
right
anything like
now.
that?
So you
Okay.
gotta come
Okay.
directly to thelastspartan.com, to get your copies, or ask your comic book shop,
Yeah.
and they can get in touch with us, and we'll get
Yeah.
copies if you wanna do it that way through the comic book shop, or just come directly to us. Yeah.
Awesome. I saw on the website that you're also now in production of a second volume for another story and all that. And
We can't talk about that.
Can't talk about it. All right. But but
it is there and it is coming. So this is an ongoing
okay.
storytelling process that we are working on, and the long end goal of it is to try and turn this into a TV series so that we can keep raising awareness and keep raising funds to do the charity that we need to do.
Well, I think, and especially in the past 2 years since we've last spoken, shows like Reacher and stuff like that have had this pedigree of being novels kind of modernized and having, and, dealing with these, topics and these issues, other topics and other issues and all that. It seems like, The Last Spartan is kind of primed for something like that. No pun intended, Amazon Reacher, whatever. But, so it does feel like, this show is kind of like, would be, if it becomes a show, would be a great stepping stone for that kind of stuff. And also just entertaining, who doesn't want to see some of this Frank Kane action, filmed and set up. And, I kind of have to ask this question just because we are fans of Reacher and all that. What do you think Reacher and Frank Kane, what do you think that interaction would be between them two if they ever met? Would it be like a mutual respect, kind of like I don't know if I like you, but we're going to do the right thing here?
I think it'd be a mutual respect, and I would love to see them team up.
Yeah. Especially since you yourself are a few inches taller, handful inches taller than Alan Richardson. So that would be an interesting dynamic. It's always nice to see the as it calls, the guy bigger than Reacher is always like so because that whole last season had that whole episode, that gentleman. And which also kind of, I was aware of that actor beforehand, and it just makes me feel like, and especially with talking with you, it's like, why, it's like all these giant, big, intimidating dudes are always like the nicest people. They're always like the chillest, like most, almost like humble people ever. And it's always, it's just hilarious to me, the dichotomy of it versus like you playing, Michael Myers and Sabretooth and these, sadistic, troubled, violent men, and speaking with you, it's like you're just chill, you're just cool. Even with 4 shots of espresso in your system,
it's called acting.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Who'd have thought? But no, that's fantastic stuff. As again, with the response you've been getting with the fans and all that, has there been, has anyone been cosplaying as Frank Kane? Because the character, is drawn a little bit like you, I would say. So, which fittingly, because, you embody that kind of presence there. Have you seen anyone cosplaying as Frank Kane yet, or
not yet, but hopefully soon.
Okay.
When it gets to that point, that you've made it.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of like the dream for anyone who's created a character. It's like when someone else is like, I want to dress like this. It's just like, yes,
exactly.
Yes, please do. That's fantastic. So with the, we can't talk about the second volume and all that. But can I ask if like the creative team, is that mostly intact between the volumes? Are you trying to keep...
I will tell you this, the second one is just about done.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you.
Fair enough. I will stop
beginning of next year.
Beginning of next year. Okay, perfect. That sounds great. Which is, again, perfect timing because this graphic novel is now available or wide everywhere for people to check out, catch up. And then the second volume becoming, is that I want to keep on asking questions about it because I'm like, is it going to be on a Kickstarter? Or are you just going straight to distribution? I'll hold off.
We'll talk again in a little bit.
Yeah.
And
that's just more reason to have you come back on next year.
And then I can answer all your questions.
But once again, the Last Spartan red tape is going to be available in stores everywhere, comic shops, on the website. There'll be links in the show notes for people to check all that out. Goes to fantastic organization trying to help law enforcement combat human trafficking, on top of just being a great rough and tumble mysteries story. Well, starring Frank Kane, the ex military turned biker, badass.
Yeah.
with tons of great supporting characters too, and I don't want to keep drawing comparisons for anyone who might view it as a negative thing, but if you are like fans of like Reacher or that kind of story with the the lone wolf, so to speak, coming in and solving the problem by any means necessary.
Yeah, it's kind of like the way we explain it. It's kind of like Punisher meets Taken.
There
You
you
know?
go. There you
Yeah.
go. And who doesn't like seeing the bad guys get what they need to get, right? There's that
Exactly.
catharsis that we don't always get in real life with that kind of stuff. So, but if you buy this book, you help the people who can get that catharsis for all of us in real life and stop this kind of stuff. So, additionally, again, you've been going around to bookstores and comic shops for signings and things like that. How have the comic shops themselves? How have they been? Is this your first time like touring, like doing book stops in comic shops like that, or?
I've been to some comic shops and stuff like that, and a lot of Halloween shops have been having
Mhm,
me,
mhm, mhm.
to help support the cause, which is
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
It, it's been very, very receptive, and it's something that's very, very important.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of great shops in Chicago. I don't know if you've hit Chicago yet with
that'll
anything.
probably be coming next year. So
Okay,
hopefully
okay,
I'll
yeah,
see you in person there.
yeah. I'll definitely make sure to come out, because in Chicago there's a lot of great comic shops. I'd be, you know, I'm sure your wife will knows the deal of the shops. Yeah, she has the plenty of experience dealing with comic shops and stuff like that. But I'd be happy to pop out some names for some places that I think would be really awesome to check out, and even a couple horror shops that are around town that would be, I think, super stoked to have you on and do all that. But one thing I've seen as you've been posting this month, because it is kind of like your busy season, I guess.
Yes, yes.
That's,
Tis
but
Halloween season.
yeah, you've been doing some photo ops with like the mask on and all that. Like, how is that something you've done recently before, or is this something you haven't put the mask on in a very long time?
That
And
is just something that I was doing to raise awareness for the cause and
mhm,
donating a portion of the proceeds to charity, and that
yeah,
is the only time it's happening. So,
okay,
it. I think I'm going to be doing it one more time, and that's over in
hmm,
England, and then that's it.
that's
So
awesome.
for
That's
now,
awesome.
for now.
How does it feel putting the mask back on? Was there like the memories just come flooding back of playing the character, or was it you're just in the moment, in the zone for the cause? You're kind of into it. I don't know if that, because that character was so intense. Like, I don't know if that was like something you're even kind of wary about doing.
Yeah,
uh,
everybody that came through to get a picture with me was a victim. Let's put it,
nice, nice, nice.
and they enjoyed it.
Awesome, awesome. And I don't want to distract from the book too much, because again, very important cause. I want to make sure people go out and check out the book. But not long after we spoke last, it came out that you were in Deadpool and Wolverine reprising your role
Yes,
as Sabretooth.
yes.
Uh, on a personal note, far too brief for my liking, but I'm glad you got to do it.
Well, that was
I
the comedy in it.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess, and I was also kind of chuckling to myself in the theater, because I doubt I'm spoiling anything for anybody with what happens in the movie, but Sabretooth gets beheaded, and I was just reminded of our interview with the cover that you got, that you're looking for, was the Greg Land cover, I think, of Wolverine 50, of Wolverine holding Sabretooth's beheaded head, and I'm like, was Was Tyler being silly? Was he like just like seeding that, or was that just a happy coincidence with how that played out? I'm not sure, because I tried to find out what was getting the call back to do that. Was that like a, hey, can you come here for this, or was it like, hey, we're thinking about doing this, and some time elapsed and all that? Was that like a super fast
Yeah,
turnaround?
Sean called me and asked if I would be wanting to reprise the role of Sabretooth, and I
Hmm.
said, "Hell yeah!" It was
Nice,
that quick.
nice.
And then I started training. I was training for about 3 months
Hmm.
for that little bit, but
Oh,
that actually helped start my new journey into getting back in the gym, getting back in shape, and getting to where I need to be and keep moving forward. So it kind of put a spark under my ass and got me going again,
that's
which is a
awesome.
good thing. So
Yeah, that's all. Yeah,
you got to
always a
keep
good thing.
moving at my age, especially.
Well, I'm 43, and I know it's like I just have to do it now at this point. I
Yeah,
can't not. And it's incredibly important. So it's great to see that sparked that with you and all that. So, what is your training like? Is it a lot of like strength training? Is it a lot of cardio?
a
How
lot
are
of
you approaching
strength.
it?
I'm very lucky and able to have a gym at my house here. So
Hmm.
I've got a full on gym. I work out. I hit the treadmill. I do high intensity training. I
Hmm.
do a wide variety of different things to keep mobile and raise that
Yeah.
VO2 max and all of
Hmm.
that has to be done. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of times, you don't want to get in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've been doing this so long with all the wrestling and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You've.
Once I get off my ass, so to speak, and I get
Hmm.
into that gym and I start throwing some weights around, I'm like, oh yeah, you feel so
Yeah.
good. You feel
Yeah.
so much better than when you come out of that, and in a few 10, 15, 20 minutes later, you're like, "Oh god, what did I do?" You know what I mean? But that's what
No. Yeah.
I
I
mean, I
totally
set
feel
my
that.
whole house up now for recovery.
Oh, okay.
It's all
Awesome.
about the recovery and being able to stay
Hmm.
in the game and keep going, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's definitely something I've been learning on, because in majority of my youth, I was always trying to like get thinner, and so it's always running and doing half marathons and doing all these things and struggling with that, all that. And then a couple of years ago, I just like, you know, I was in another round of like, I'm not running as much. My cardio is crap, and I was dealing with like a bronchial thing. I'm like, but I need to go to the gym. So I just started focusing on strength training for the first time. And then I'm like, wait a second. One, this is fun. I like this.
Yeah.
Two, I'm not like gaining. I'm not gaining weight. I'm actually seeing some result, like all this other stuff. And I'm like, wait, should I have been doing this all along? So now it's just like, it's part of the routine. I get up at 4:30 in the mornings, and I go and I do it. I don't want to, but
Right,
once you get, like I
exactly.
said, once you get up and you're like, all right, let's do it, and then
Once
you're
you've
done.
done it, it's a new
You're
phase in
done.
life that you're going
Yeah,
through, and you're doing it, and
yeah,
it's something that we all need to do, and if you're
yeah.
sitting at home on your butt, get up,
Hmm.
get moving, and get
Yep.
doing something,
Yep.
you know?
Especially working as a comic book artist and all that. Like, there's a lot of sedentary time. And I try to
Exactly.
tell my friends, like, you got to get up and move. You got to do something, man.
Yep,
Something is always better than nothing. That will
exactly.
always be that.
Even if it's taking the dog for a walk,
Yeah,
just movement.
yeah. It's
Keep it
good for your
going.
body, good for your brain, man.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
uh, but what's good for everybody is for you to go check out The Last Spartan Red
Yes.
Tape. Go pick up that book. Not only are you getting a story
These 2
wonderfully
right
written by
here.
Christopher Priest, chock full of great, fantastic artists, awesome covers, but it's also going to a fantastic, fantastic cause. And clearly, it's been successful enough that there's more coming. So let's keep the ball rolling. Once again, Tyler, thank you so much for coming on. Really enjoyed this chat. Definitely got to have you back for the next time next year, or anytime,
For
anytime.
round 3.
You got round three. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Sounds good,
And
man.
so Tyler, let everyone know where they can find you on the socials.
Yeah, it's the Real Tyler Main on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere. The Real Tyler Main. You can go to thelastspartan.com to get your copies of the book. Mainentertainment.com, tylermain.com, And I appreciate your support, and thank you for helping me with this great cause.
All right, everybody, go check it out. Once again, Tyler, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Peace. Take care. Everybody stay safe.